Now this is something we've not seen, breaking off the rail from the centre of the table.
So his opponent today, Tashunka Schults. And not the most auspicious start, Cole.
No, it was a little awkward queuing down using the bridge, but he's made a mess of that one. But at least the one ball is tied up, so Martin's going to have to play safe. This is where snooker players usually get found out against the top 9-ball pool players when they play, just because they don't play enough.
Yeah, I think we saw this with Judd Trump at the US Open last year. The bookmakers in Britain made Trump, before the tournament began, the favourite, which was the most ludicrous thing imaginable. And it was immediately obvious that while he had the ability to pot the balls from anywhere, there's a lot more to the game than that.
Oh yeah, the bookmakers cost themselves a few quid that week. It's going to be another safety shot here.
I know for certain he was watching backstage for a while, Martin Gould. He will know that this table is really quick, and he displayed a very delicate touch there. A delicate touch that's now reaped dividends, ball in hand.
Yeah, now we get a good look at where Martin's at, how much effort he's been putting in.
Yeah, you know from the way he approaches things, he is not here to make up the numbers. He attended the pre-tournament press conference, and he also spoke to the good folks at worldsnooker.com last week, who put up a story about this. And it was clear from the way he was talking, he wants to go deep, and he feels as though he has the ability to do so.
Yeah, I mean, snooker players, some of the best cue sports we'll ever see. So potting balls is never going to be an issue. Of course it's not. We all know that. But it's all about this, the cue ball control, making the finishes easier. The safety play, the kick in, which we're not going to see too much of that. Certainly not in this rack.
Well, in completing this dish, which I'm sure he will, he's looked pretty accomplished. Martin, as good as Gould in the first rack, winning it very nicely indeed. Laid the snooker, got his rewards because Tashunka Schults failed to escape, and from there Gould made a very simple task of clearing up. On the other side of the main portion of this arena, another snooker player is in action. Gary Wilson, 7-5 up now on Blaine Barkas. Barkas, though, at the table in rack 13. Yeah, Martin Gould's record in professional snooker, really good. Won the German Masters in 2016, major world ranking event, beating Luca Bracel in the final. He's been runner-up in 3 other world ranking tournaments. He's won a PTC event. He's won Power Snooker, the Snooker Shootout, and 2 Championship League titles as well. Plus, before he turned pro, 2 English Amateur Championship titles, which is a real achievement. Not so sure about this break-off though, Cole.
Well, the problem is, it's the second dry break you're going to see. He's praying for a random ball to go in. The wing ball's not going to be going in from where he's breaking from. You can see it hits the long rail every time. If he just moves the cue ball to the side rail, that will change. That was a nice shot there from Tashunka to get on that red 3. I'm sure he's feeling a little bit edgy. He's certainly not used to playing out knowing that everybody's watching. It's not quite centre court, but it's a featured table.
Yeah, when you're not used to it, the presence of the cameras, the presence of the bleachers there, people sitting, watching, it can all be really intimidating. Almost as if you're destined to fall victim to imposter syndrome. And there's no need to feel like that, it's just a human impulse, I suppose.
Well, he's still on the 6 ball. Just nudged the black 8 enough. Oh, the positional shot's gone wrong. No. He was trying to play for the brown 7 in the top corner. He doesn't hang about though, does he? There's no shot clock to Tashunka. Slow down, buddy.
Oh dear me. It was a good pot with the cue ball and object ball so close together down that side rail, and he didn't deserve that. So you have to believe 1-0 is about to become 2-0. Yes, Martin Gould will not be missing not many pots of that nature as the match and indeed the tournament progresses. The scratch proved very expensive for Tashunka Schults. I'll get it out in a moment. He trails 2-0. So I'm going to just do a little bit of practice here. Tashunka Schults.
That's better, Phil. Over on table 2, other snooker player, Gary Wilson, he's just got himself on the hill. Blame Barkas from USA. Missed the ball in that rack to tie it up, but it's 8-6 to Gary Wilson.
Well, there's a postscript to what you're saying, Carl, because Blaine Barkas, on his break-off in that 14th rack, made 4 balls and was unable to convert.
So Martin, he's been a little bit stubborn here. He's not moved the cue ball. Let's just see if the pink 4 manages to squeeze in the pocket. No, it's not happening, you see. You've got to move the cue ball near the wing. The only ball he can pot is a random ball. And obviously he's a very good cueist, so if he does move the cue ball over and starts making the wing ball, he's more than capable of putting some racks together.
You have to say, though, I was talking about he wants to go deep. Regardless of his technical abilities, regardless of his potting prowess, surely breaking off like that, if he continues to do so, will be too much of a handicap.
Yeah, the only place to be going deep is deep in the loser's bracket if he stays there. Oh, but that's a poor mistake there from Tashunka. I didn't expect to miss there.
Well, for the 3rd time in as many racks, he's being handed gifts. Martin Gould, I can tell you, Martin, it's not always like this. So it was a failed snooker escape in the 1st rack, a scratch from Schultz in the 2nd, and now this. Snooker players prospering. Fraser Patrick, he's already notched a win. I can tell you Gary Wilson on table 2 is getting ever closer to the winning line against Blaine Barkas. He's in with a great chance of victory as I speak. And look at Martin Gould, despite the totally ineffective break-off, he's poised for 3-0.
You can clearly see from when Martin's at the table, he's a very accomplished cueist.
Saw him play a match at the World Championship a couple of years ago against Stephen Maguire in the 1st round. Had the pleasure of commentating on that, the World Snooker Championship, that is. And he played absolutely brilliantly. I've seen him perform wonders on a snooker table at times. One of those players, when his confidence is high, there's seemingly no stopping him. Now, he's not a regular in pool, as we know, so not quite sure what to do about this template. Can tell you, can confirm, Gary Wilson has beaten Blaine Barkas 9-6. The snooker player from Wallsend in the northeast of England off to a successful start.
Yeah, he's going to play Chris Alexander in the next round, so that's going to be a tougher test for Gary, but he's in round 2. And Martin Gould, he's looking good as well as he takes a 3-0 lead.
And without wishing to repeat myself, Carl, that's a remarkable scoreline considering how poor his break-off has been.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see if he's going to keep sticking with that break. Not really sure why he doesn't break from the side rail.
One of the up-and-coming players in European pool is Sanyan Polovanovic, and I can tell you he's just gone through 9-6 over Neil Margossian. That was over on table 13. Perlivanovic could be a dark horse here. A young man with bags of ambition, bags of talent. Also in action on table 6, the butcher, Mieszko Fortunski, already 3-0 up on Britain's Sam Story. And 3-0, it's the same story here. Well, that was a slight improvement, Carl.
Yeah, it's just relying on a random ball, although you see the 7 sneaks in the side pocket. But he's no shot on the 1. That was a good effort though, good safety shot. Yeah, 256 players have started out. There's going to be a fair few players that, you know, just wanted to have a go. They like the game of pool. Wanted to pay their entry and experience the UK Open here at the Copper Box Arena. This is day 1. As we start getting to day 3 and 4, a lot of these players, well, we won't be seeing them again, Phil.
Oh, what a bonus for Martin Gould. The only negative about that shot where the 9-ball is, blocking his path to the 2. But quite some escape. That will do, and look at the shape on the 2.
Yeah, I think he was trying to pop the red 3, to be honest, not the purple 5. But he's still at the table. This is what can happen. Yeah, just because he was jacked up, he was trying to hold the cue ball. He's just put a little bit of unwanted spin on that.
And you always make the point, Carl, which is absolutely right. It's hard to comprehend if you only play snooker just how big these pool balls are. And so when you're jacking up and hitting down into the white, it really is easy to put on unwanted side spin.
Yeah, very easy to do indeed. And this is why at the Masters, you know, when we had the 4-inch pocket, this is why the players and the fans and myself and you, Phil, were crying out for these 4-inch pockets. They will come. We're still at the early stages here of Matchroom Pool doing multi-table events.
Yes, just to give you some idea of the format here, it's 256 players right now, double elimination. But then at the weekend we get down to just a sweet 16, and then it's single elimination on 3 tables as opposed to the current 24. Tashunka Schults showing what he's capable of.
So this 9-ball, and he's won his first rack of the UK Open.
Well done indeed, the Spaniard taking advantage of Martin Gould's surprising miss on the 2-ball, one has to say. Tashunka Schults now trails 3-1. Whenever I say the name Schultz in a sporting context, I always think of Jackson Schultz, who was one of the leading characters and also a great runner in that film Chariots of Fire, which was one of the best I've ever seen. Well, running away to what's potentially a simple victory might be Mieszko Fortunski, the Polish player. He reached the semi-finals of the World Pool Masters recently, and he's 4-0 up on Sam Story. Russell Thomas and Jim Telfer, the all-British battle on table 19. That's really close. 7-6 to Thomas.
There's the pace of the cue ball. It needs to keep running, needs to keep going, and it's short. I'm not saying Martin would play a jump shot here, but I know he doesn't have one. I was just speaking to him a little earlier. So he's kicking off the side rail, relying on a bit of luck, but you don't get away with it all the time.
The 2-ball, not Gould's favourite sphere at the moment. Missed it in the 4th rack and now scratching off the 2 in the 5th.
Yeah, recent runner-up at the World Pool Masters Low Ho Som. He's about to get his match underway over on table number 2. He's playing King of Rope from Poland. That was a little slow one. They can always be nervy when you're rolling the cue ball dead weight across the table. Oh, he needs his cue ball to keep running. And he's in the 50-yard line now. He gets down quick though, doesn't he? He doesn't hang around. This is a tough pot. Oh, he's handled it well though. He's handled it real well. And he's perfect on the 9. Good shot.
Schultz back in the match. He now trails only 3-2. You're right, he does get down and play very quickly. Now, sometimes that's symptomatic of nerves. I don't know how he plays normally, but he seems to me as though he's showing his nerves by playing really swiftly. Of course, there's the opposite end of the scale. We've seen some players that come into an alien environment, a big arena like this, and freeze up and play very, very slowly. Others physically shake. I think his nervousness is being manifested in a very quick average shot time. Tell you a really good cueist from Austria, Mario He. Former World Cup winner alongside Albin Auschen. Over on table 12, Mario is 7-2 up on Britain's Simon Ayres. Well, that broke off much more efficient than his opponents.
Yeah, it's been a bit unfortunate. Just look where the 3-ball is sat. It's in one of the worst positions on a pool table when it's touching that rail or that jaw near the side pocket. It is awkward. And there's no real insurance here for the push out, so where'd he go? Has he even called push out? Was it? Maybe he's just playing the shot. Yeah, so he's playing the shot. Oh, that is a disaster. That wasn't easy. maybe he should have took a little bit more time, because he's just, well, he's going to cost himself this rack.
That's the pool equivalent of a golfer missing a 6-inch putt. Well, unexpectedly in the 4th rack, Gould missed a 2-ball. I can't imagine he's going to miss one here. The Pinner Potter, his nickname emblazoned all over his shirt. And again asking for the referee to remove the template. And he's gone all pool as the snooker player Martin Gould, using the looped bridge to knock in the 9-ball. And with that, he's back in front by a couple at 4-2. I've seen him play some wonderful snooker over the years, Martin Gould. A couple of years back, he went down to number 60 in the world rankings. Had quite a bad time of it, on and off the table, but he found his form. And if he were to break back into the top 16, I don't think anyone would be surprised. He's made 240 century breaks in professional competition. That's a really nice number. Highest ever ranking, by the way. He was world number 11 in snooker 10 years ago. Still only 40 years of age, and as Ronnie O'Sullivan, aged 46, showed at the Crucible, age is now no barrier. Although scratching on the break is, and leaving the 9 like that with a certain 1-9 combination call.
Well, this might be the easiest rack you'll see all week. Just look at this. Wow. Just run them out. Don't do this. I'm only joking. What is the quickest rack you're likely to see on a pool table? Amazing.
Yes, let me say, if you ever see Carl Boys run them out from that position in a tournament, you might need psychiatric evaluation. It was obviously a 1-9 combination, and there's no way, Carl, no way in your career you would have ever have contemplated running them out. You'd have been at that table like a greyhound.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, I think you're a bit of a poacher turned gamekeeper, you. Now you're in the commentary box telling people what you would never do in a month of Sundays. Can you imagine, though, Sunday night here, it's Hill, the UK Open title resting on the deciding rack. Something like that could happen. Such a cruel game, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, because of where Martin is breaking from, the 9-ball often gets kicked a little bit more than, let's say, a regular pool break. So he's had the 9-ball moving a few times. You see the difference in the break, can't you? He's making the world, and well, Martin's having a mare, but still not getting a shot. That's the problem. poor cue ball control on the break as well. Didn't control the rock. He doesn't need a shot clock, that's for definite. He does not mess about at all.
It seems rather strange not having a shot clock, because of all the Matchroom multi-sport events. We do have one in operation. Normally it's 30 seconds, the shot clock, with a 30-second extension, one allowed per rack per player. And of course that will be reinstituted for the weekend, when all of the play is on Sky Sports Action.
It's not a bad chance this now for Tashunka. He's got to make sure he gets over for the 3. Gonna need an angle, purely and simply because of where the 4 ball is. And he's got an angle. He plays quick. I'm wondering if the great Tony Drago was his hero growing up.
Well, of course, we've all seen Drago run racks in competition in under a minute. Snooker-wise, by the way, Drago, you might not know this, Carl, holds the record for the quickest ever frame of snooker, which took 3 minutes.
Oh, I thought it was the quickest century break.
Well, you might have that as well, but I think the 3-minute frame is simply extraordinary. You made a 70-plus break, and that was that. His opponent conceded. 3 minutes is reasonably quick for a rack of pool, but for a frame of snooker, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, the cue ball just running onto the rail has just changed this shot a little bit. This is a lot thinner than this looks. So the cue ball's going to be travelling pretty rapid. Oh, he's done well there. He's done well. And he's done very well. That's perfect. Who'd have thought this? This to tie the match up.
Oh no, Tashunka Schults did all the spade work there, all the hard work, and then missed the 9-ball. And 9-ball is what it's all about. You have to say Martin Gould is living dangerously. He's picking up scraps. He's winning racks off Schultz mistakes, and that was perhaps the most expensive mistake of them all so far. Gould leads 5-3, but he has to spruce up that break off. He has to radically improve it, Carl.
Yeah, I would be surprised. You know, I know he's not a pool player, but surely he's got to do something.
I'll tell you who has done something. Russell Thomas, he's beaten Jim Telfer 9-6. Mieszko Fortunski 7-0 up on Sam Story. Good player, Fortunski. And Loho Sum, who came so close to a sensational victory in the World Pool Masters the weekend before last. He's just started out over on table 2 against Kinga Roke. Quickly, one of the scoreline to tell you about a possible contender for the US Mosconi Cup team this year. He's played for the US in the Mosconi Cup in the past. Oscar Dominguez, he leads Marnitz Hawks from South Africa 8-1.
Yeah, Martin just moved the cue ball a little closer to the side rail, not fully to the side, but that resulted in the wing ball going in. And that is where the snooker player is going to struggle, the safety play. It's very underrated, the safety play in 9-ball pool. And if you're not playing a lot, it can be awkward, it feels awkward.
If someone such as yourself, a world-class player, could sit out there and coach him and tell him what to do, I'm sure he could play the shots. It's not a matter of execution, it's more a matter of knowing what to do.
Well, it goes back to the point before what you brought up, Phil. You just can't appreciate how big a 9-ball pool ball is. So when you've got to play a certain shot with a tiny bit of spin, it's so difficult. And Tashunka, well, he's having a mare.
Well, it's 7 months and 8 days to Christmas, but already Martin Gould is being showered with gifts.
Yeah, it's just been a case of mopping up the mistakes, this one, I'm afraid. So important to stay on the winner's side of the draw. If you're not familiar with how this event works, or double elimination, it's very simple. You basically get an extra life, so if you lose, you go over to the left side of the draw, which means you can still qualify for the final 16. So there would be 8 players from the left side of the draw, or the losers, whichever way you want to call it. And then you're going to get 8 winners, or 8 players from the right side of the draw, and that is going to make our 16.
Now here you see this cultural difference between pool and snooker. Earlier on we saw Joshua Filler quite happy to remove the template himself, but each time Martin Gould has had to do it, he's called in an official. Well, we talk about mistakes when it comes to not knowing the dimensions of the table, safety, tactics, all that kind of stuff, but you do not expect a snooker player to miss an 8-ball of that ilk.
Well, you don't, Phil. Don't bring me into that bracket. I expect stuff like that to happen.
Okay, I'll put it more diplomatically. You don't expect anyone to miss an 8-ball of that ilk. But Tashunka Schults in this match of errors is now back within 1. 5-4 Gould. The outcome very much hanging in the balance.
Yeah, this match should be well and truly over, really. Looking at the score line, this could have been an 8-1 match easily, but it's not. It's 5-4. And you never know what layout you're going to get on the break shot, do you? So it's a funny old one. Wonderful arena. You can just see in the centre arena, there's no table there yet. That arena is for the final 16. And just sitting on that perch is the UK Open trophy. That's adding a little bit of spice. All the players walk in and come to the table, and it's a beautiful trophy. They're all getting a little glance of it. Tashunka to break. Unbelievable. He trails 5-4 and he's made a ball. He's made 2 balls, 3 balls. Ooh, this could be awkward though. This could be awkward. I don't think he can play it in the side. And if he plays it in the corner past the 6, he's got to strike low on the cue ball to avoid the scratch. If he can play it forward and avoid the scratch, he will do. Oh, that's a nice shot. 3 balls got in the heart of the pocket as well. Oh, not only has he missed it, where's the cue ball going? He's completely mishit that one. This is not easy though. Doesn't matter who you are, this is not easy. If he's dead straight, he's got to cue an absolute beauty. Draw the cue ball back. Well, it was a good pot, just forgot to draw it back as much as he would have liked. Now, is he going to play a bank or is he going to bide his time and just play? He's playing a safety shot. And that looks okay. Well, I say it looks okay. He's kept travelling and it's left an edge. I'm amazed how quick Tashunka plays. It's like he doesn't even look at the shot.
I just get the impression, as I've said before, I think it's a mechanism for coping with nerves. Maybe he plays like this all the time, but just get the feeling he's under it. Understandably so.
That was a better one from Martin. Yeah, he's not got the hook, but he's put his opponent under sheer pressure, because often you hit this ball too thick and you leave a pot. And he's left the pot. Thought he would have chose to play it a little bit harder. I think, no disrespect to Tashunka, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but I think Martin's got to, you know, understand the opponent he's playing. He's not one of the top players in the world, and I think containing safety shots are going to be good enough in this match. That's what he's got to be looking for. Doesn't have to play lock-up safes. Just do enough. Don't give the frames away or the wrecks.
Absolutely spot on, Carl, I think, your assessment there. No need for total precision, just effective safety. Simple as that. Well, Gould keeps Tashunka Schults at arm's length. Gould's lead is now 6-4. And I've got an important and really happy announcement to make to you, because today we were scheduled to have 6 matches streamed for you on this table. Well, because of the pace of play, Emily Fraser and the team at Matchroom Multisport have made the decision to increase the amount of matches we're going to stream from 6 to 8. And I can tell you the 2 additional matches. A little later on, we're going to see Elliot Sanderson up against David Sabirch from Poland. Elliot Sanderson will be the partner of Jason Shaw in the forthcoming World Cup of Pool, so that should be interesting. That's a first round match, and then a losers match to finish off the day. It will be Francisco Sanchez Ruiz of Spain against Ashik Nathwani from India.
I hope we're getting a pay rise, Phil.
Corinthian Carl Boys there for you.
I'm sure Emily will be making her way up to the comms box any moment. So 6-4, race to 9. You always feel like this is an important stage of a match when it's set like this. He was just trying to miss the 2 ball with a cue ball. Hasn't done it. But distance, it's not going to be the worst thing for Martin. Look, Tashunka there, he just walks around the table and gets straight down. It's like he's not even looked at any particular shot. Incredible.
Yeah, it's a sort of faux nonchalance, isn't it, that is fooling no one. He clearly wants to do well, desperate to do well, but he's disguising that by playing in a rather loose way, in the sense that he's not really looking at shots for the required amount of time.
Nicely done there, back in prime position. This is just connect the dots. The 8 ball sat in a nice position, so nothing weird can happen from the 8 to the 9.
Of course, I was saying, Cole, wasn't I, that Martin Gould, after wins for Fraser Patrick and Gary Wilson, is looking to complete a clean sweep for the snooker players. But really, also in the snooker player bracket, we should include Chris Melling, because he spent time on the World Snooker Tour as well. Looking good for Gould here now. Doesn't remove the template, doesn't need to. The 9 ball was as simple as you like. And with that, he re-establishes a 3-rack cushion over Tashunka Schults. He led 3-0. Now he's back 3 in front at 7-4. Now on our other streaming table, which is available for you to watch on the Matchroom Pool YouTube channel, Loho Somu made such a favourable impression at the World Pool Masters, runner-up in that event 9 days ago. He's just this second potted the winning 9 ball to take a 3-0 lead over Kinga Brayuk. That's on table 2, and Kinga had a wonderful chance to win that rack, but she couldn't take it. In the battle of the Adams on table 23, Adam Smith has beaten Adam Lewis 9-8.
You can see with Martin there, just moving the cue ball that little bit closer to the corner, he's now started to make the wing ball.
Whisper some advice in his ear, Carl, in between matches and put yourself on commission. Because you've been saying this right from the word go, just do that and you'll be fine, and now he's done it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when you're breaking and you're guaranteed that wing ball, it's almost like comparing it to a tee shot at golf, isn't it? I know obviously you don't always find the middle of the fairway, but you don't always find the middle of the cue ball, so the break shot, you just break, the wing ball goes in, and then you just see what the table gives you. That's all you can do.
And then the poor positional shot onto the 2, which causes a foul shot. He made contact with the 6 on the way through. And so, just when you think, it's been the case throughout the match, just when you think that Gould's getting on top, he makes a mistake, you can't anticipate.
Yeah, I mean, with the chances he's had, this match could be well and truly over, but he's just keeping his opponent alive. But I don't think Tashunka's shown as much to us, what makes us believe he's got it in him to come back and stage a fight back and close this match out. If he does, there's going to be drama in doing so. It's not going to be a clean sweep.
I just get the impression if he does get really close, he might be overwhelmed with pressure. But let's see if he can get close.
Oh, he's played a poor shot here, though. Could have played for the 7 in the same pocket as the 6. He's tried to go twice across and he's under it this. Just feel like he's going to have a go at the bank shot here. It's not an easy safety shot. He's to miss the 9 ball. He's left it.
The pattern repeats. Now he's missed some balls you wouldn't expect. He's knocked in some crackers as well. Oh, that was nicely cued.
So it's not been pretty, but this 9 ball to get on the hill, and he's there, 8-4. Just kind of feel, Phil, don't you, in this match it's a case of when, not if.
Yeah, absolutely right. But I will say this, and I'm not saying anything that Gould doesn't already know. He will need to sharpen up considerably as he goes deeper into the tournament, should he win, which now seems highly likely. 8-4, as you say, Gould doubling up on Tashunka Schults.
Well done, Phil. Yeah, it's the same as Judd Trump at the US Open. He had a couple of opening matches where it was pretty easy for him. He was getting lots of chances, and then we all felt when he was playing Jason Shaw, he was going to be tested to the max, and he was. And this is going to be the same for these boys in this event.
On table 10, Bader Alawadi, who's going to represent Kuwait, alongside Omar Al-Shaheen at the World Cup of Pool. Well, Alawadi is 7-2 up on Mark Macaulay. And a real veteran from France who's been around forever, Vincent Fake. He's 3 each with Benji Buckley.
There's a blast from the past.
And your pal, Nikos Economopoulos from Greece, 6-2 up on Shahram Changazi.
So there you see he's moved the cue ball just a little closer to the corner. But the wing ball has not gone in. I think you're right, Phil. I think you might have to have a little chat, try and get on that commission.
I think he definitely needs some kind of guidance. Because the point is, it is such an integral part of the game, being able to break off. Not brilliantly, he could do with just a C+ break at the moment, because right now it's E-.
Yeah, and the template that you see that is still on the table, what that is actually doing is it's giving all the players a perfect rack. All the balls are touching, as where if you was using a triangle and trying to get all the balls touching, well, you could stay there all year and not achieve that. So that little template that has been designed is giving everybody the perfect rack, but what it does do, it does make the break a little bit easier.
turned away disconsolately there. Might have waited a moment before he showed his reaction, because in the end, it's okay.
It doesn't matter who you are kicking at this ball. There is a certain way to kick it. A lot of the pros would go 2 rails. Martin's going to go off the 1. It was a good hit. That's all he can do. Make sure you get the hit. There's a few balls here, so he's going to get the cover. But a top player would jump this ball in 9 times out of 10.
And that's one of the things he's got to be wary of later on, should he go deeper in the tournament, Gould. If he's playing someone who has a dry break, they will push out to a jump because they know he can't jump.
Well, he was aiming for this pocket, but he wasn't aiming for rails. And now Martin's going to have a good chance to put this first round match to bed. He knows he's going to have to improve, but all he can do is win your first match. Doesn't matter who you are, you know, you would have been a little bit edgy. It's all new. We've got a DJ playing the music. These snooker boys are not used to that. It's a very relaxed party feeling here. Some of the songs are questionable, mind.
Nothing questionable about that positional shot, though. I think the end is nigh.
As well, we're used to seeing snooker players wear the old tuxedo. Now he's got a pair of trainers on and a collared shirt, and you're good enough to go.
It's been a match of mistakes. It's also been a match which has exposed an obvious Martin Gould weakness, the break-off. But nevertheless, he's now 2 balls away from victory.
Well, that's just good enough. It's just sneaked past the 9. This match is over.
Martin Gould, a former German Masters champion on the snooker circuit, has mastered Tashunka Schults. The final